This is my 125-gallon Predator tank. And that sound you're hearing? Well, it's not my unlittered Bichir. It's that big tube in the back. That is my King of DIY style PVC Overflow. And the initial point of this video was to build this overflow, show you how to build it, and show you how to quiet it down. But after having it run for about 2 weeks now, I've decided to scrap it all together and go with something that's quieter and, most of all, safer. The main problem with pretty much all PVC overflows is 1, they're loud, and 2, there's only one drain. So if it clogs, you end up with a ton of water on the floor. Most people quiet down their PVC overflow by dialing down the main drain. Yeah, you could do this, but in doing so, you significantly reduce the amount of water that drain can handle, meaning one little leaf stuck in your overflow, like we have here, could be a disaster. Now you could just build a second PVC overflow as the emergency and dial one of them down, but you'd still end up with the other one being very loud. That's why I decided to go with a different design altogether and then incorporate another product I had as the emergency overflow. This is the new design I went with, and a quick search online will show you a lot of designs that look very similar. It runs on the same principles as your standard acrylic hang-on-the-back overflow you can buy at a fraction of the cost. Mine is a little overbuilt, but let me show you exactly what you'll need. The main part of this overflow is the U shape that hangs over the tank. That's the main part you'll need. You will not be needing this extra U part in the back, and you'll also not need this extra T up top. Now, like I said, this works in the same way a hang-on-the-back overflow works. Water enters from the tank and fills this portion down below. Then it travels up this pipe, down the outside of the tank, and fills this portion below your T. Then it overflows out and into your sump. When the system is shut off, water stops flowing right at these two T's, which keeps the sections below them full of water. Now, because that smaller upside down U pipe is ran all the way to the bottom of those PVC pipes, it keeps the ends fully submerged in water, which keeps your siphon inside your pipe. And then when your system turns back on again, it starts right up again on its own. Now, to get our initial siphon started, we have to get that upside down hose completely full of water. The easiest way to do this is to submerge both our hose and our overflow in the tank, and then slide the hose into the overflow while they're both underwater. Once you get the hose all the way in there, you lift it out top first, making sure we don't pour any of the water out, and then our hose is full and our siphon is ready to go. Now for our initial test run, I hung it over the side of the tank and ran some pipes down to a bucket. Then, if everything's working properly, you should be able to just bend this part down and let water start flowing in, and water should just start flowing. Then, when you're sure you're done, you lift it back up, and the water should stop. Now you might notice that my U-tube design here with the vinyl hose and blue connectors is different than my final straight pipe design I went with. That's because after I did some testing, I found that the 3/4 inch vinyl hose I was using was not big enough to provide the flow I wanted. After rebuilding my lift tube out of clear, rigid PVC pipe, I was able to get flow of about 400 to 500 gallons per hour, which is more than enough for what I wanted. This final result does not pull as much water as the previous version, but that's what makes it cheaper and quieter than the original King of DIY version I built at the beginning of this video. And as you can now see creeping into the foreground here, I ended up using the Hygger fish waste collector as my new emergency overflow. See, I set this bulb right to the top of the tank, and then if my main drain ever clogs, this one can take over the full handle of the flow. So, how much money did this cost us? Well, on the left, we have the King of DIY overflow, which all parts included cost about $61.13. And then on the right, we have our new PVC part, which cost about $40 in PVC parts, plus $10 for the pipe on Amazon. And then if you factor in the Hygger fish waste collector, that's another $50, so you're looking at about $100 here. But $100 for a fully accident-proof hang-on-the-back overflow system is really not that bad. As evidenced right here, this is what happens when I take a wad of paper towels and simulate a clog on our main drain. There's our paper towels just clogging up that drain, and as we can see, the water is slowly rising. We're going to speed this up slightly, but once it gets to the top, wait for it, there's the ripples. See the ripples? And the water is about to shoot up that hose, and now it's turned into a full siphon. Now it's going to drain the tank back down, which again we're going to speed up. And the best part about this system, it starts making noise, which alerts us that there's a problem and tells me I got to come in and I got to clear some sort of clog. See, the final chamber in our sump still has water, our pump is not running dry, and our tank is not overflowing. This system will fill up, drain, and continuously make this noise until I come fix the problem, which is great for when I'm not home. Now we just clear our clog away, and our overflow starts right back up again, our tank levels go back to normal, and everything sets right back up the way it was before. So for $100 and a little bit of DIY skills, we now have a dual overflow system that starts and stops when the power goes out and is completely safe and quieter than the previous version. For a fraction of the cost of what these commercial acrylic boxes cost, you could have a safer version and a quieter version, and you get to tell people that you did something. So give us a like and a subscribe if you like this video, and we will see you in the next one.